Good evening and thanks for joining us. As students start to look forward to the holiday break, there is news tonight about how our kids are doing. It's a global look at literacy, and there is good news and bad news for Canadian kids. The study looked at the reading ability of students in grade 4. Hong Kong, Russia, and Finland led the way. Canada is 12th among the 45 countries studied. That puts us ahead of the global average, but what's holding some kids back is bullying. Canadian students who are bullied scored significantly lower in literacy tests. Mike Drolet breaks down the results for us.
Current was pulling him.
Today in class, it's the adventure novel Take Me to the River. At home tonight, a different sort of read.
Captain Underpants, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dork Diaries.
Those last three weren't homework. In fact, it's books like those that have Canadian grade 4 students near the top in reading ability. Canada routinely does well in these international studies, but graded numbers rarely tell the whole story. What we've learned here is there's a lot we're doing right, from reading to our kids at toddler age to getting them to read on their own.
Reading is very important. You should read at least 20 minutes a day.
What this study shows is that liking to read has a direct impact on how you do in school or how you're on your reading scores. And so we really need to look at then whether or not we're building that sense of the joy of reading.
Now, Canada achieved its successes in reading despite bucking one important trend. We used to believe that more homework translated into better grades. While here in Canada, at least, the kids who did less homework achieved better reading scores.
With a little more power behind it.
Despite our successes, there are still kids being left behind. With reading, girls excel more than boys, and there's a definite link between socioeconomic standing and good grades. And then there's this. 2/3 of teachers surveyed said a lack of sleep is affecting reading scores. 1/3 said poor nutrition. And 1 out of every 5 kids reports being bullied weekly. Not surprising, their scores were the lowest.
If they're focused on surviving the day for whatever reason, because they're hungry, haven't slept, or they're worried about being bullied, it's going to take away from their ability to concentrate. And if that happens when they're younger, that's going to be cumulative as they get older.
As for solutions, that's where it gets complicated. With education, there's never one issue, one answer. But a good first step is letting parents know where the problems lie. Mike Drolet, Global News, Toronto.
This study tested 23,000 Canadian students. Here's how the results broke down provincially. Students in British Columbia scored the highest. 55% of grade 4 students there have high or advanced reading comprehension. Alberta and Ontario scored closer to the national average of 51%. And on the low end, students in Quebec and New Brunswick lag behind with only 43% and 29% excelling at reading.